I know success is often portrayed as this happy, fabulous thing that is always glamorous all the time, when in reality, that is not the case. Like, a lot of sacrifices have to be made when you have successful marriages, relationships with people, businesses, investment ventures. These things require a lot of sacrifices emotionally, physically, and spiritually. You got to be prepared in order for you to reach those levels. I'm going to share my experiences. The successes I had so far has been in real estate, marriage, investment ventures, businesses, trying to keep going, of course. At the same time, it's all by the grace of God, because God is the one that provided me all these to live out the purpose that He has set for me into this world. It's no longer living out these successes for myself, but to utilize those vehicles to actually share the gospel, share like I'm sharing with you right now, and also evangelize, not just by the things that I say, but by the things that I'm doing. Earliest level of success I can remember is probably in junior high school, when I really started reading the scriptures. I was 12 years old, 7th grade. What changed from previously is that I now started getting these high grades in school out of nowhere. That's the only thing I did different. And I started praying every day, reading the Bible every day, up until about summertime. Then things get loose. You start, the sun is out. You just want to play with your friends right after school, go to the basketball court. That's when I started playing handball, and it became fun. And that's probably when I slacked off a little bit. And the sacrifices that you make in between that, when I was really dedicated, I wasn't playing outside. I was studying a lot much more, spending 3-4 hours doing homework and really diving into my studies as much as I could. So you lose time with friends. You lose a part of having some fun. And you're also going to have people that are haters. Naturally, they're going to be haters. Now, I love my junior high school friends. This is nothing to take away from them. I don't think I've experienced any type of bullying or anything like that at all. But, they'll make slick comments like, why he always think he's so smart and all. But really and truly is because of what I've experienced when I was in Haiti. I know there's a lot of privileges that we have here, and I wanted to take advantage of it, because many of them don't know what it's like going to school in Haiti and having the free school lunch. We didn't have that over there. Our parents had to provide us food or packed us meals, and the trips, you didn't get free bus rides. Someone actually had to take you there, or you had to pay to get to school. Some kids walked. One time I actually walked from school all the way to home, and it was like an hour and 20 minutes walk because of the whole riot that was going on. The next level of success I can remember is in my 20s. I was applying for this consultancy gig for this financial firm to design their softwares, because that's what I was doing aside from other things. And literally after a few months, I came from this camp. I made it the dedication to devote my life to reading the word every day, praying every day, and going to church every Sunday. A few months went by. I got the gig. My net worth started increasing like crazy. My annual salary was more than doubled, I would say. It's not just from that gig, but from other things I was doing. Aside from this side, I also had a music business, and I got into like licensing. I ended up getting some songs licensed on television shows. And then the following year, there was a little bit of disruption in my life and such, but this is how God cleans up your life. Because if you are living in a sinful manner that is not aligned to Him, He'll clean that up. More and more success came, but during that transition, you won't see it, because it's going to be a difficult situation. But I understood it because I was reading the Word. That's how God operates, right? He'll start cleaning your life up in a way that is going to feel like a storm, but you trust in Him, just know the other side is going to be beautiful. The following year, I released my first music album. It went pretty good, met a lot of people. The year after that, purchased my first home. End of that year, ended up switching to another company that offered me more than I was getting in total from all the things that I was doing. Plus, they gave me a huge amount of equity, which equated to almost $1 million. A year later, I left that company and I moved on to being back in consultancy, having my own business and growing a lot much more. Now I can tell you today in my life right now, have the real estate, have 3 retirement accounts, and also regular brokerage account. In total, I would say all my assets is worth near $1 million now. At some point during the 2021 bull run, multi-millionaire, I would say I've attained that status by the grace of God, but it was not like I was able to see that in a bank account somewhere. It's just the accumulation of your real estate assets, the equity that you have in there, in retirement accounts and all these things. I can't just tap into these things by putting a card and then pulling out money. It doesn't work that way, and that is the best way. When you look at net worth, people actually building wealth, it's not about the money inside of your bank account. It's about the things that you own, and you can control these things. Right, all these successes came with a lot of sacrifices. When I was doing that gig, that first consultancy gig, it was far out in Long Island, far away from where I was living, and it's an hour-and-a-half commute. But I made it. I stayed at my family's house like twice a week so that way I can ease down the commute a bit. Slept on their couch. It was not the most comfortable situation, but it was not uncomfortable either. I was grateful for it because I came from Haiti. There's a lot of things that we have now. It's very privileged. But I did that commute. The most difficult part was the tiredness of doing that back and forth. But I did it for almost 4 years. And then finally, when I switched over, it was a much better ease situation. You're gonna make people sad when that happens, right? As you leave companies behind, you're leaving also relationships, connections that you had with people, and emotionally it's gonna feel another way. And that's the part people don't talk about because it's truly important. What's important is understanding the better side of where you're trying to go, the better side of what's best for everybody. Because when we all grow, we better each other. It comes with pain, and the Bible talks about that. Even me right now experienced this in marriage. In order for me to have a successful marriage, it told me that there are people that you're gonna make upset, emotionally disconnected. You might lose some friends, perhaps. The same applies to businesses, because where you're trying to go, they're not aligned with you. And are they more of a helper and supporter, or are they more of a distraction, disruptor, or blocker? So you have to be able to put those things, those people aside in order for you to get to where you're gonna go. And that's where the pain comes from. You're gonna have to make tough decisions, which I had to do. I've lost a lot of people in music along the way for me to get to where I'm at right now. But you can't try to hold on to every single thing, because that's life. You have to grow out of these things. You have to move on to the next steps, and not everybody is gonna be there with you all the way. Like my junior high school friends, I probably spent most of my early life with them, right? From like 3rd grade till the 8th grade. And then when I had to go to high school, it was emotionally like, dang, I'm leaving y'all behind. I spent so many years with y'all, but in reality, we had to move on in order for us to see that growth, be separated apart, and build our lives together. Even though we're separate, we're still building our lives. And that's the part we gotta be happy and appreciative. And that you yourself, you gotta, when you see people are trying to attain somewhere, be more supportive and try to understand their angle where they're trying to reach. It's not about you, it's about them. And when you look at it that way, it's gonna make you appreciate what they're doing a lot much more. You may not understand it, you may not have time to have all the luxury time that you had with them prior, but know that they're working on something to be much more successful. And many of us don't talk about that, but that is the sacrifices that you gotta make for success. Me, looking at the stock market every single day, there's a lot of sacrifices I had to make, not spending money certain places, going out and spending money where I don't need to. And you have to toughen up when people try to tell you, oh, why don't you do this, why don't you do that, and be like, no. And you're gonna have the haters naturally. They're gonna go, oh, why are you so cheap? You're conservative, but those same people that's telling you that, they're the ones that having financial difficulties themselves. When in reality, you have a vision, you have a place that you wanna go. Why you wanna get a house? Staying in an apartment is sacrificial to move from apartment to actually owning a home, because now you're responsible for all the repairs and such. It's not easy at all. Just bear strong. If you are in that situation, you're going through it, just know that you gotta keep going, and the people that are with you, they're gonna support you. And if they don't, of course, don't be upset if they don't understand. Just know that your relationship, your priority with God is most important, and where He leads you, you just gotta follow. Eventually, those people may or may not understand. And if you're in the shoes and you're seeing that happen and you're having that feeling, let it go. You gotta look at the other person's shoes and know that they're trying to grow and reach somewhere, and you should be appreciative and happy for them. Stop putting it about you, but more about them. So I hope you found all this insightful. Success comes with a lot of sacrifice, damaged relationships, letting people go, separations, even when people pass away, right? It's a growth. Many people don't realize that. I just went to a funeral last week, and for one of my junior high school friends, we're about the same age, and seeing him go, he made the decision to no longer fight some disease. But I had to be happy for him and know that he made a choice and he's in a better place. And it's hard to experience that. But our selfish ways is more like, you should have, you could have, you should have did this that way. But that's what you wanted. But what does the other person want? Think about it. Peace and love, trust in Jesus. I really hope you found insights in what I was saying. Have an amazing one.
I've been thinking for a long time what I'm gonna do with my life. I've been planning for a long time what I'm gonna do with this life. Yes, many years done passed, you ain't changed. What the heck you gonna do with your life? I've been thinking for a long time what I'm gonna do with my life.
Thank you so much for checking out my video. My goal is to be able to share as much knowledge, wisdom, experience that I've been given, privilege from God over the years, to be able to give that to you and also be able to receive from you as well. This can definitely be a two-way dialogue. It doesn't have to be one way at all. It's just for us to be engaged. And I'm just continuously sharing as things that I'm seeing move along the market. So I hope you find insights, and your feedback is greatly appreciated as well. How can you support me? Right now, I have these wristbands. You can get them at luxury.com. I've been selling them on eBay for quite some time. It just says make your statement. It's just an encouraging, inspirational message. You can purchase these right now, available on there. Eventually it will be spun off to other things and I'll have other products, but that's one way you can do right now. But most importantly is just making sure you receive something from the content I've given. And if you have any feedback, that is probably the most valuable thing I could say you can give to me. So I appreciate it, and I hope that we can continue to build a long-term relationship with each other and just grow with one another. Peace. And if you have any questions, definitely drop it below.